One. Hi, welcome to the Freeman Conversations. I'm Jobert Okaw, the online editor of the Freeman, and this is another episode of Power Women, our way of paying tribute to women who are not afraid to make a difference. We have two guests today in this episode, and these are Power Women themselves. We have with us the founder and CEO of Hot Royal, Maribel Torres Cuales.
Yes, hi everyone.
Hello, thank you very much for being here, Belle. And of course, sitting beside Belle is the project manager and general manager of, so I will not be mistaken, Product Source, Joan Maris Rosos.
Hello.
Joan is an IT professional and Maribel is a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, and both of them are, of course, promoting the rights and welfare of women. And ladies, happy Women's Month to both of you. Thanks for being here. Also with us, we'd like to acknowledge the audience, your friends.
Yes.
Belle's husband Dante is here, and of course Attorney Charisse Piramide. Incidentally, they're both, well, all of us are members of the Queen City Toastmasters.
Hello, Queen City.
Okay, any word to your friends, family, before we begin?
It is really our pleasure to be here. I'm honored. So, hello friends. Happy Women's Month.
Yeah, I share the same sentiment. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be here, to be talking about an advocacy that is very close to our hearts. So thank you. Thank you, Freeman.
The pleasure and honor is ours to have you both here. Okay, Joan, you're an IT professional. How is it to be, why did you choose to be in IT?
This is something that I didn't choose. It just chose me, I guess. So, way back when I was in high school, I really didn't know what course to take. But my mom, who is my firm believer, said, you can take anything, you're smart. O, di ba? Believer siya talaga. You're smart, you can be successful in everything. So, my first choice really is more on tourism because I love to travel. But I got accepted in a DOST scholarship. That's why I have to take a science and technology related course.
Right, yeah.
And computer science is
DOST,
very...
for those who might not be very familiar,
it's the Department of Science and Technology. So they give out scholarship even up to now. So, yeah, computer science is very popular then, and I think it is still popular until now. It is the future. So I took the course, and then here I am. I just learned to love it. It's really very dynamic, very challenging, and overwhelming sometimes, but it helped me grow. So
you received your degree from the University of the Philippines,
yes,
Diliman.
UP Diliman.
Right. Because I remember during my time in college, most of those who took up IT were men.
Yes.
Was that the same in UP at the time?
I would say more men, but the difference is not that big. So there are still there are ladies or there are females taking up engineering, science and engineering related courses.
How does it feel, or how is it being a woman in your profession, in the IT profession?
Honestly, I
Was it
can't
ever
really
an
tell.
issue?
I really can't tell the difference because for me it's just really more on doing what you love and being the best that you could be. So maybe if there's something that I can share, or I felt that I am a woman or a lady, I am a different, is more on interacting with different culture. So I have this experience when I went somewhere in Europe. So I have to be trained as a software development manager there, and then my counterparts were very surprised when they learned that the manager that is going there to be trained is a woman.
Right, because again, when you hear about software development, it sounds so manly, and the first impression is that it's really a man's job.
True, it is a man's job, but maybe there's a lot of aspects, or there's a lot of IT-related jobs. And then women can also excel in everything. So maybe in software development, I would say there are a lot of men. But in terms of designing or systems analysis, testing, there are also women there. So I would say, I think generally, really, the impression or the trend is that there are more men in science, technology, math,
Right.
related occupation or work.
If I may just backtrack a bit, had you not received that DOST scholarship, what would you have pursued? Tourism?
Tourism, yes, tourism.
Any regrets?
None, because I was still able to travel because of being in this industry. Yeah, no regrets at all. I mean, I think I would be bored if I were in a different field than computer science or in software development.
Well, that's actually quite interesting, because when you talk about IT, software development, and all those terminologies, what comes to mind is a person right in front of the computer 24 hours a day. Which sounds boring to those who might not be familiar with. Please educate everyone.
I would like to say that yes, of course, you have to be in front of the computer all of the time, or most of the time. But the challenges, problem solving, analysis, being able to solve a problem is really very fulfilling. So I think it's really more on, if you solve a challenge or a problem, then you feel happy. And then if you see your application or your website or your software being used by others, it really feels great. It's your consolation.
And there is actually a global campaign for more girls and women to go into the sciences, both and mathematics.
True.
Yeah. But let's go back to you in a while. But let's have Belle for now.
Yes.
Belle is a businesswoman.
Yes.
You are the founder, together with her husband. You founded Hot Royal. Tell us about it.
Yes.
What do you do exactly in Hot? And by the way, thank you very much for bringing the flowers and the wine.
It's a pleasure.
And the wine, which we'll have later. Go ahead, please.
Here. Yes, we started Hot Royal back in 2015. I saw a need. It was a personal need that I wanted to be more confident in myself. And one of the first few events we did was the makeup workshop. So I flew in a makeup artist that was trained in Cinema Makeup School in Los Angeles, and she was really good. So we held that workshop, and the response was really great from women who share the same need that I had. And then,
why was that a need?
Because I know YouTube tutorials are there, but it's different when you have someone really teaching you. I know it may sound like vanity at first, but I believe that it is really essential of a woman's grooming. Part of really grooming is to be able to do her own makeup so that she appears more polished at work and when meeting people, meeting clients.
Right.
So that was really a need that I saw. And then from there, our services grew. We still do our makeup workshops until today. Like last year, we did a workshop in Manila, in Richmond Hotel, and we also did another one here in Cebu. So, but from there, we expanded our services to weddings and also to social celebrations, because we wanted to be at the milestone of the woman, because the heart of Hot Royal is really the woman.
But I would have to disagree with the notion that it's
Yeah.
really vanity, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Because grooming is very important. It's not a vanity, it's a necessity.
Yeah. And there are some people that might think it is,
Yes,
but I would, because there are some women that I encounter that they're afraid to put on makeup because they feel that it's a luxury, it's like vanity. But I say, no, it's not, because you really have to present yourself well. And then that way, when you look in the mirror and you feel confident about yourself, you can really do great, wonderful things. So deep down, that's really, in a way, women empowerment. And then from there, of course, other plans I have for the companies to expand to other classes. So, of course, project management, we talked earlier this
Right.
year. So project management, and then of course we also want to educate them about reading more. So potentially with another brand and also community that we personally love, like Bookswap. And then because right now we started last year or early this year, we started out our membership community, which is Hot Chic. So it's a membership community for women, really. And I personally chosen brands that I would love to work with. So they are curated in a way. So these are brands that I have put my trust in, and then local brands also, because I would like to really help local brands as well. So
that's right.
So
what was the initial response of the project you did?
Oh yeah, with the hot shake, we launched it back in January during Sinulog. I'm glad that there were women who signed up, and then now we're expanding. I would like to work more with maybe national and international brands, so that women can trust. So
where is this advocacy coming from?
I think at the heart, because personally, when I was growing up, I know that they're like awkward adolescent years, but personally there was a time that I really had like low self-esteem, and now being a mother, I have a daughter, and I really wanted to create something for her, that a community, like a safe haven for all women to be honest about what they're going through, even no matter how small. I would like to say that there's nothing too small that you can talk about, that you can tell us. So there's, and wonderfully, since 2015, since we started, there really is a lot of interest in the workshops, even more so than our planning and styling, because we also do styling. And then
I saw your pictures.
Oh, thank you. So even the workshops and classes are still there, because the women really come back and then really ask for more. And I said that this is really something that I really want to keep doing.
What did you learn from the participants? What challenges do they face today?
Put women in a group, in a room, and you would really see that there's a sisterhood. Because these women are really are. I
attended one of the workshops. It was really nice. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Actually, in the IT world, as we mentioned earlier, we're just in front of the computer, so how you look like doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But in terms of meeting people, presenting even in a corporate world, it really helps if you feel good about yourself.
Right. And you present yourself.
And you present yourself well. So I really enjoyed it. I mean,
what activities did you have to participate in?
We had like a live workshop session.
Yeah, 8-hour session.
It's an 8-hour session, and we were taught how to put on like everything.
Yeah.
And it was like, first it's scary because I am not really used to put this makeup on or everything. So of course, since I am from IT, precision, if you put this color, what would be the angle, the combination? So there's an art on it, but there's also like science, so even geometry. So it was fun. It was fun, I would say. And being there with other women, it's really like fascinating because I learned that it's also their struggle. How to put on makeup, how to measure the angles and everything. So
because we've always thought it just comes naturally to women too. But that actually is a misconception.
That's a misconception. Yeah, it's a misconception. It's up to now. I think putting on makeup is really a skill. Yeah. Just like programming, you have to practice it to be a master of it. Yeah.
Well, Joan just answered my question because I wanted to clarify earlier if it's exclusive to mothers.
No, it's not. So it's actually open to all women from all walks of life. So we've had
all ages.
Yeah, all ages. But I've also had there are plans like for me personally. I'm gonna say it out there that there are plans that I wanted to go to the schools, especially the colleges, so that to help these young ladies transition to the workforce. Because when that's usually the challenge, that you're a newbie, you're a fresh grad, right? But if they're able to have this skill, they're able to project themselves more. They become more confident. So that's really, I really cannot. It's really an advocacy that's really close to my heart. So I
think that's a nice idea because before these women can join the workforce, they have to undergo the process of entering the workforce, which of course involves the interview, right? The application and interview, and during the interview, first impressions last.
Right.
And okay, pardon the pun, but we eat with our eyes first, correct?
True.
So we look at something that's more pleasant.
Right.
That's the reality
True.
in anything. So presentation is as important as content or what's inside.
Yeah.
So it's very important that all of us have to learn how grooming.
Yeah, grooming essentially. That's right. But more than aside from that, also I really have plans also for other life skills to provide, like business and even tech, financial education. So there's work right now undergoing in Hot Royale to be able to transition into these things.
And I've seen your pictures, the ones you've posted at least on Facebook. You're doing events. You are, how do you call that? You arrange.
Food styling.
Yes, style events, venues.
Yes.
Where did this come from? This artistry of yours come from? Where did you how did you develop this?
I'm a very visual person. I cannot really help it. Like, for example, in a mall, for example, in a boutique.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I'll just stand at the door, I'll look at everything, and then if I like something or don't like it, I'll go. So I'm really a visual person, and I think that I claim that it's a gift that's given to me, and with it comes a responsibility, because with our event styling, I'm very proud that we are not expensive, because most weddings suffer, especially the bride and the groom, they really suffer because of the price tag.
Easily 100,000.
Yeah.
Just the screws of venue for the reception, for example, easily 100,000.
Yeah, that's right. And I really pity them because they don't have to. So for example, with us, at the heart of our styling is really elegance. And I believe that you really don't have to have a lot to have an elegant setup. If it's properly, elegantly set up, even though with a minimal, one analogy I really would like to raise is like for example, the Japanese art of flower arrangement. Yeah. So I really take inspiration from that. So very simple. So that's what I tell even like families, couples, or even debutantes, that I really am honest with them, that very transparent, that we can just have this budget, but you can have a very wonderful, elegant setup.
Can you work around a budget?
Oh yes, I do. I'll be honest, there's even a budget as low as 15K, but she was very happy. It was baptism, because she's a friend, and I know that I was helping her out, and she was very happy. It was very elegantly set up, and then so because I also love beauty at the heart. I love everything beautiful, paintings, poetry. So that's also another core of Hot Royale, is the love for beauty.
One question we ask all our guests in Power Women: how would you describe the modern Filipina, or the modern woman for that matter?
The modern Filipina is someone, I would say, independent. She has a lot. She has more choices right now, and she is free to choose what she wants and pursues it really passionately, I would say. And then in terms of personal and professional relationships, she demands to be somebody of equal with with her partner, and then she's not afraid to speak her mind. She is really I would say, she's very competent. She is good at something, and because of that competence, it gives her confidence of her skills, of herself, and maybe even being independent financially, so that she can take care of herself and her family, especially her kids if she's already a mother. I would say that a modern Filipina, a modern woman is somebody who is independent, confident, and competent.
Yeah.
I totally agree with everything she said, and I would just like to add that yes, the modern Filipina really knows what she wants, how to get it, and then I think the third one is the modern Filipina protects. So with that protection, the ability to protect, she's a heroine heroine there who protects her family, who protects her siblings, who protects her passion, her craft, her work. So, and I think that says a lot because past centuries or centuries past, most Filipinas are usually at the home, right? And taking care of the needs.
Yeah.
But nowadays, she's really out there pursuing what she loves. But at the same time, because I cannot help to say protect because I'm a mother, and I really deeply want to protect my child, especially that given technology is there, but there's a lot of things out there. But I also want to give her only what is beautiful, what is virtuous, what is essential. So, and I think, I agree with all that Joan said here. But at the heart of it is the ability now of the modern Filipina to really protect everything that she cares about. So she really finally has that ability.
Very good points. Alongside that, of course, we are not saying that staying at home is wrong.
Yes.
Definitely not, right? And we salute all the mothers who have chosen to stay at home to take care of the family.
Yes.
Motherhood, as they say, is the most difficult job in the world. Do you agree?
I agree because I am a full-time mom. I actually honor women who stay at home also, and then because that's why I did not go back to the corporate world because I wanted to be more exposed with the kids, to be there when they grow up. But of course, there are sacrifices, especially when I'm doing events. But yes, I agree with you that there's nothing wrong with that. But more
only
women are
only
doing
that
more.
today, women have more choices
More
than just
choices.
staying at home.
Especially if they are into IT world. Actually, one of the advantages of being in IT is that flexible working hours.
And you can work at home.
Yes, you can work at home, I would say.
Yeah.
And of course, in terms of salary, compensation, and benefits, well, IT pays well. So it really empowers women.
That's right. And that's in line with what she said. She's promoting and advocating financial education.
Independence.
Because also in the past, whether we like it or not, well, at least in the Philippines, women were very dependent on their husbands as far as finances are concerned. So it was really the husband that was earning, and then the women taking care of the family at home. So that was the setup in the past. But today it's very much different. You are getting your own money, earning your own money, exploring the world. You are making your own choices. Being a mother, wife, and having your own business at the same time. Examples of modern Filipinas.
Thank you.
You are certainly accomplished women, but when you do something, do you think consciously of your gender as a factor toward your success?
Actually, no. It is just really more on, maybe one is upbringing, that our parents taught us to work hard and do our best, really encouraged and supported us. So we brought that up until in the workforce, that you do your best. It's really not, I'm not really conscious about being a woman. And even if I am interviewing somebody for the job, gender is not actually an issue or a consideration. It's really more of who's competent, who has the character, who can really do the job well. And if I am being the one interviewed, so I just have to prove that I am the best of the candidates. So it's not really because I'm a woman.
Yes. People actually don't know, but because we do classes, right? It's all about beauty. But when we do event styling, I'm actually at the one buying. People don't know, but I'm the one buying the wood, the nails, and the paint.
You do the dirty work.
Yeah, I do the dirty work, and even when we're actually building, I'm actually there. So sometimes I forget that I'm a girl. So sometimes, I really know the wood that I want, and then I paint, I hammer things, so I carry big stuff. One time we were doing egg-crust, and then my hands were like, was under like the back of the pickup truck, and then all 3 or 4 plywood fell on it. So and then my husband said, "Shana, don't forget you're a girl."
How did that make you feel?
I cried. I cried like a girl. It's because it did hurt. But then I'm back building things. So so
But it's really part of education.
yeah,
How can we tell other people, like your staff, for example, this is how you do it right if you
Right.
don't know how to do it yourself?
True, very true. So at least my staff, even my carpenters and my painters, they really know. So I guess I'm with them, I'm working with them, painting with them. So
I might as well take this opportunity because, well, you're one of those who hire people. Belle is among those who help people get hired and being feeling good and looking good. What do you look for in an employee, in an applicant?
Number one is
Since a lot of them are graduating today in the next few days.
Number one is that I hire for attitude. So even if you're the best in the job or in the skills that I am looking for, but if you don't have the right attitude, if you're a diva, a complainer, or whatever, then sorry. I would go for someone who maybe is not as good as other candidates, but is easily trainable, and I can somebody who is reliable and who can really do the job well. Of course, if you have the right attitude and the competence, then surely I will hire you. But yeah, the number one consideration is the attitude. If you're trainable, if you have the perseverance, number one, because in the IT world, there are really problems that are very hard to solve. And then in the IT world, also, everything is like changing all at once.
yeah.
So the speed of being able to deliver faster, cheaper, and better, it's always like that, should be really a consideration. So, because what's really happening right now in the IT or technology world is that as a professional, we are not just competing with each other maybe here in Cebu or within the Philippines.
It's a global industry.
Yes, it's a global industry, it's a global competition. Like, we should accept that somebody can really do it faster, better, and cheaper than us. So it's really more on what other value can you bring to the job. So if you have that potential, if I can see that, then I would surely hire you. So yeah.
They say that women can be very sensitive, can be too emotional at times. In your line of work in IT, where you have to be logical, how do you, I don't know how to ask this, but how do you control this? How do you control the emotional, for example, when you are too pressured with work?
I think it's just really more on practice. I mean,
What kind of discipline do you need
you really
to excel in your industry?
Okay, number one is perseverance. I am always, one of the things that I always talk about is about the growth mindset. So if you have the growth mindset, it is okay to fail as long as you learn from your mistakes and then apply what you have learned to your next project or your next job. And then everything can be done through hard work and perseverance, because IT can be really tough, especially if you're a programmer and then there's a bunch of problems to solve out there, and then the customer is already like pressuring you, where's my software? And then also they are also pressuring you of the quality of the software that you are delivering. So it's really more on persevering, and you should really go out of your comfort zone. So, because if not, you will be left behind. If you just stay in this scale, in this kind of problem, then your other colleagues are already advancing their skills, then you will be left behind. So I would say it's really more on persevering, growth mindset.
Speaking of your industry being global in nature today, based on what you've seen so far, how are we competing?
Actually,
Filipino IT professionals against our international counterparts?
I think we are at par. And then I would say that that's one of the things that I would really like to work on. that's why aside from being an IT professional, I'm also a teacher.
Correct.
So
Yes.
I took up diploma in professional education, and then I already
Graduated last year.
I graduated last year, and then I passed the board exam also last year, because I would really want to share and maybe teach what I know based on my experience and help students also be like a good IT professional. I want Cebu and Philippines to be known as like good IT professional source.
Right.
So I think I would, yes, we are at par. It's not that good to know that we are cheap world-class labor because, well, of course, it's a fact. We're cheaper here.
Yeah.
But what we
That's
are
why the jobs are here.
yes, that's an advantage.
Yeah.
But of course, the advantages is that we can compete.
Right.
We can compete. We have like a lot of good programmers, IT professionals, and then a lot of also freelance workers working for people all over the world. So it's, we are at par.
That's
We're
very
world
good to know.
class.
Yeah. What do you think are the challenges that women continue to face today?
Yeah.
Maybe we can have Belle
Sige,
to
Belle.
begin. You've worked closely with different kinds of women with your projects.
Yeah. I think the universal challenge until right now is really the lack of belief in themselves at first. I think that's really prevalent when they're during their adolescent years. And I think it's really crucial that families, people really support these women that, especially when they're growing up. But there's some, like for me personally, that I really suffered when I was young. That I wasn't good enough, I wasn't pretty enough. So I had those insecurities. But once these women, they've fought and they're victorious over these insecurities, then they can really go out there and really do great things.
Spread their wings and fly.
And really start great companies and be part of great companies, and then even conquer gender inequality. So I think because that's really something that it's a personal pain that I experience. So that's why I think that's why my advocacy is really revolved around this, building the confidence in themselves. So our class is really not just makeup. It's really about building back and building the confidence in themselves, and then creating a community around it, so that women have somewhere to go.
A support group.
Yeah, support group. Yeah.
How constant will this be? What's your plan?
Oh, I'm hoping because my makeup artist, she divides her time here in Cebu, in New York, LA. So my women can really be assured that they're really getting great content for during the workshops. So I'm in talks with her how we can make it a regular thing.
Yeah.
And still, not just Cebu, but I want to go back to Manila also to start the workshops there because the response was really great, and also even expand to Davao. So because that's where I finished my college in Davao, so it's also a city close to my heart. So I'm hoping, and then maybe other cities and even online content. So we have great times.
Good luck, Joan.
Thank you.
Challenges. What does your gender continue to face?
I'm really very happy that the companies that I work with are like equal in terms of gender. We have equal opportunities for promotions, and then the pays are like equal. And there's not much difference between
Merit based.
Yes, it's really merit based. It's not based on gender or what. But I've heard some stories about, well, in terms of hiring, if a woman is like newlywed or would like to start a family, that's a consideration. So
Correct.
there were stories like that.
Or if a woman's a single mother.
Yes. Or in terms of promotions, women are not really being considered because they take maternity leaves or whatever. So there were stories like that in the industry that I'm hoping that will stop. So I think those are the challenges. And then another thing I would say is that access to education and to information. So we have lots of choices right now, but a woman should be aware of her choices, of that choices, especially for maybe female children in the far-flung barangays. So you can do more than just plant trees or sew or whatever. So I am thinking that hopefully time will come wherein the skills being developed among women, especially in the barangays, are more on technology-based than just dressmaking, soap making, or those usual livelihood programs.
We hope the government is listening.
Yes, please do. Because you can program, you can do IT-related jobs, even if you're in a far-flung
barangay. Can do more than those things.
Yes, women can do more. So hopefully.
Belle, aside from having a girl,
yes,
you also have a boy.
Yes, I have a boy.
How old is he now?
He's turning 6 this May, and then my girl is 4 years old. So
what have you told your boy about women?
I told my boy that he needs to be gentle, and also to be caring about Lizzie. And then, because Lizzie's my youngest, so I'm really telling my boy that he needs to be gentle with Lizzie and to run when Lizzie's angry. She can be as strong as you. That's what I tell my boy.
Let me bring you to a quote from Meghan Markle. She's one of the women of the hour, the future wife of Prince Harry. In one of the activities in the UK, she mentioned that women don't need to find their voice. They have a voice. They only need to be empowered to use it. And the public needs to be encouraged to listen. Or the people need to be encouraged to listen. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. A woman have a voice. And then my philosophy had been, if nobody is listening at you, action speaks louder than words. So do something, start with what you have, and then when you have proven that this works, then that's already like speaking up. So there are a lot of times that women, especially maybe in the corporate world, that they have these ideas, but it wasn't listened to. So what you can do is that maybe experiment.
Show them that it works.
Yeah, show them. Whatever is in your influence or in your control, then do it, prove them wrong, or show them that it can work, then come on, there's your voice.
And I think that's the best feeling about, right? Proving other people wrong.
Yes. You're not listening to me, but look, it works.
True. I get your point, because in very competitive industries, there's always a tendency for people to shun ideas and even skills, so that competition will not succeed.
Yes.
That's a reality.
True.
Yeah.
Especially in ideas, in the technology, the dynamics, the problems, and then the pressure.
Correct.
Are
Yeah.
always there.
Well, I actually follow Meghan Markle. Because I greatly admire her, because being married into royalty, or even being a girlfriend to a royalty, is difficult. It's really difficult.
The whole world, the eyes of the whole world are on you.
But so far, she has really handled it with grace, with humor, and I think it's her. I think that's why Prince Harry really loves her. And for her quote, I also agree that we women really already have a voice, and that sometimes we need to be more confident about ourselves, so that voice can be heard. Because sometimes the voice is just inside, but without the confidence, they won't speak. They won't tell others what they think. So they really have to be more confident really about it, and then really tell the world what they think. And it also leads me to think of a woman that I greatly admire. It's Eleanor Roosevelt.
I see, yeah.
Yes, I really love her quotes, and one of them is that no one can make you feel insecure without your consent. And growing up, that really helped me, get past those insecurities. So yeah, everyone's worried. I know it's worried about me. I'm just me worrying about them. So that really, and I think during her time, she's really a woman that's ahead of her time, because imagine she was the one who encouraged United States to really become a part of United Nations, and she became its first delegate. So during that time when women are more bound in the home, taking care of the kids, but she's doing it, or she's really doing an active role in.
She was out there.
She was out there, and when she died, people really praised her for what she did, her humanitarian work, her fight for civil rights. So yes, I think women, and I believe women, we do have a voice. So we just have to speak louder, and yes, let our work prove our worth.
That's nice. It's nice that you have answered what is supposed to be my next question, because I wanted to ask you, ladies, who you look up to. What about you, John?
There's a lot actually. I can think right now in the local scene. I miss Miriam.
Me too.
I miss Miriam.
Many of us miss her.
She's very weak.
Miriam was someone that you either like or don't like.
Yes.
But what is undeniable, is that she really spoke her mind.
Yes.
Whether the world agreed with her or not.
Actually, yes. I miss her. I mean, she's very witty. She's very intelligent. She speaks her mind fluently. I mean, I wish she's still here.
Yeah. With how things are going in government, I wish she's still here.
I so miss her. I miss her in the news. I miss her witty talks. Her humor. Wow. And then in terms of technology, Marisa Mayer, I love how she presents herself. I mean, she's really very intelligent. She has keen eyes also for beauty, like you, Belle.
Are we talking about the former CEO of Yahoo? Is this the same?
Yes, CEO of Yahoo. So, yeah, I like how she just projects herself as somebody who is like very calm, very graceful, but with like these big brains and the technical and in terms of management. So,
since you mentioned women leaders, let's talk about leadership. Now, Joan is the former president of the Queen City Toastmasters. Belle is a future president.
Yes, a future president.
I heard. How do you? Well, in your industries, you are already both leaders. But how do you define leadership? And is there an advantage if you are a female leader based on your experience? Or is it a disadvantage?
No, it's an advantage, I would say. It's always an advantage. So for me, leadership is really paving the way for the people to be successful. So it's not really about you, but it's about the team. Especially in IT, we work with teams. So as a leader, you really have to pave the way, set an environment for them to feel successful and really be successful. So as a woman, I would say that the advantage really is more that women are more compassionate, and maybe because we are built as a mother, we think not only short term but also long term. Like, is this sustainable? If we implement something, is this something that we can really sustain up to how many years? Do we have enough for the people? And then if we don't have projects, or if we have projects, then what's the advantage for everyone? So you really think about the whole team or the whole group, just like maybe thinking about all of your children than just one child, and then see what is really good for everyone, not just particular child or employee. So I would say it's really more on nurturing and long-term orientation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Belle, what is leadership for you?
Leadership for me is, I don't think myself as being the head. Rather, I'm there in the body, really down on the ground with my team. And I honor the people who have really stuck with me. because I believe that I am always a work in progress, and then also the cap of the organization is really the skill of the leader. So it is important, essential for me to really keep working, keep learning, so that I can further grow my company. But more than that, also the success of Hot Royale is not only by me or by my husband alone, because it's the people that really helped it grow. So there are people whom I really hold close to my heart. Joan was there during Shopee was there during another event. So these people, I consider them as really my lifelong close friends that who really seen the worst, but really has stuck with me, and I think so. That's it. Leadership is really basically about believing that you are just a work in progress. Then you really have to keep learning, and of course, never ever forget humility.
Very good point. What have been your challenging experiences as leaders, if you can recall, the most challenging experience?
Most challenging experience, I would say.
And how did you go about
it? Is that you are dealing with teams, and then a team is composed of different individuals with different characters. Let's see. So, if you have these different characters in a team, there's a tendency that trust would be low. So the challenge really is, how do you build trust within the team? And I think it's really more on being open, transparent, and then putting the team back on track in terms of what we want to accomplish. So if you have that goal, then I think it's really very easy to lead the team towards reaching that goal. So yeah, it's really more on, I would say, how do we have a good working relationship despite our different personalities or attitudes.
And I'm sure that challenge is not exclusive to your organization.
Of course,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, in Queen City, there's also, right? We also in Queen.
Well,
I think one of the challenges is that we leaders can become tired, and then sometimes the vision or the direction, sometimes you need to take a hiatus, to take a rest. And then I think it's very important for leaders to really be there for their team, especially when the team is, like I said, the trust is low or not motivated enough. The leader has to really step up and then be that motivation, and then be that support that they need. And then human as we are, so sometimes it can be overwhelming emotionally, physically, mentally. But the leader has to keep pushing on. Really has to keep pushing on despite being tired. So in the context of like events management, the emotions are raw, and then for example, some suppliers will not be or are not able
deliver.
Yeah, they not deliver. So for me personally, I don't get angry because that's the waste of energy.
Good for you.
Yeah. Remember? Yes. So
I was there.
Rather, okay, what can we do about it instead? So, and sometimes, and then I really respect, I have very high respect for my team, because even though there are personalities in the industry, in my industry, but don't get angry. Don't confront them head on. So choose always to be proactive, to be kind, to be gentle. I know it sounds cliche, but you really have to, because the next week you might see them in the mall.
You really have to be level-headed, no?
Yeah.
Like, because in our industry also, tomorrow is the deadline. We have to deliver this, and then there's still bugs. There's still some features that are not yet developed. So what are we going to do?
Since you're members of Toastmasters International, this is the international organization of public speaking and leadership, they say that leadership and public speaking go hand in hand. Do you agree with this based on your experience in your worlds outside of the club?
Yes, it is very important, especially the communication skills. For us, we deal with customers outside of the Philippines. So most of our customers are in the US. And then when you get their requirements, of course, you have to communicate, or else you will be doing something else, not what they really need. So if you have that communication skills, it will be easier to get the requirements, analyze what they want, and then at the end, present what you have, what are the solutions. So it's really very important for them also to understand what are the challenges. Why can't we deliver this within 1 month? Or then what are the technical considerations or issues that we have to solve so that we can deliver? So it's really important that you know how to communicate. Not only with customers, but also with your co-workers or colleagues in the other part of the world, like in the US. So this is what we need, then you should be able to communicate that. So it's really very important because you are not only, for me, personally, this is not only for myself, but for the whole team here. So that at least they will know that we are competent in what we are doing, that we can deliver. And the first step is to understand what we should deliver. So communication is very crucial.
Nice. Belle?
Yes,
What's your experience?
Lately, because I have a commitment to hold Hot Royal to be really world class. Now, I applied for a school which is based in Silicon Valley. I will not tell the school yet, but gladly I was able to, me and my husband, we were able to pass the interview. So, and it's a life-changing, I believe it's going to be a life-changing, instance for me and my husband because John is like my best friend.
Yeah.
I'm actually transitioning to become a software developer.
More women in IT.
Yeah. And when I told her, when I broke the news her that...
But hold on a minute.
Yes.
Your education in college, what did you take up?
I first started management accounting, and then I shifted because I'm really more inclined to marketing and communicating with people, discovering their needs. So I shifted to business administration with major in marketing.
Okay.
Yes. And then lately, because I really wanted Hot Royal, because there are 3 things that I'm really deeply passionate about, which is beauty, financial education, and then technology. So right now I'm on the track to be able to inculcate technology in Hot Royals.
Your third target.
Yeah, third target. Right. So Toastmasters, the program itself, has really greatly benefited me because I was able to improve my communication skills. Before, I'm sure I would have flunked the interview. And also the leadership track of Toastmasters has also greatly helped me in really setting a clear direction for my company.
And I hope you're not just saying this because one of the former district officers is here.
Yes.
Okay, I might be asking you to look at a crystal ball, but where do you think the Filipina is heading in the next few years?
I would say that the Filipino will be more empowered. So, to be empowered, I would say that she will have stronger character. When I say character, it's more on the values, good manners, right conduct, and how she projects herself. And then she will be more competent. There would be something that she would really be good at. She will have the skills. She will be a lifelong learner. She will add up more to her skills. And then that would be the source of the third, confidence. So because of the character and the skills, the competence she has, she will be more confident about herself. And compassionate. I mean, a modern Filipina, our future Filipina would really think of ways to make the society a better place to live. So yeah, I think That's how a
Nice.
modern Filipino individual.
But
Yeah. When you say years from now, I cannot help but think about my daughter. Yes. I would love her, and similarly, her generation, the next generation of modern Filipinos, yes, to be more confident. They would be, I would imagine and claim that they would be starting companies of their own, and then choosing advocacies to take on, and then because I think when they're empowered and when they believe that they can really make a change in this world, so that would be a vision, a dream come true, not just for us, for our generation, but for everyone. When these Filipinos are really starting companies and then really taking on social issues, advocacies, problems.
Making this world a better place.
Yeah.
And do you think our generation has prepared the world for that vision you have for them?
That's why we are working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah. That's why it's a hot chick.
And I'm a teacher.
Your message to your fellow women and to the men.
So I think it's really the same. For women out there to build your character, to build your competence, confidence, and be compassionate. So those are the forces to be really empowered. And then for men, I don't know. I really have no idea about the difference between a man and a woman except for the childbearing and childbirthing. But we're basically equal. So I think maybe it's more on being gentle and also not forgetting about women, respecting and hearing out, listening to women. But yeah, opportunities are the same. And then I think one of the keys really is education, awareness on. So be prepared, be aware of what are the opportunities out there, and then pursue your passion. Do something that would really make you happy and give you joy. Yes.
Well,
I would like to share a quote, but I forgot the exact words. It's from Amelia Earhart. She said that some women or some men are born with the capacity, and I think she means by wealth, by connection, to soar. But just in case you don't have any of these, build your own runway. So that's what I want to say, that empower yourself and believe that you really can. Because honestly, like me, I never thought that I'd be starting my own company. I was never a student leader. I was never a leader in any of my past organization. But here I am. So
future president of your
yes, city.
No pressure.
No pressure. We're already announcing to the public.
I didn't know it's gonna be a Facebook Live.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so build your own runway, and then if you don't have a plane, build a plane. So just soar, and then believe in yourself more than ever. Believe in yourself, and of course, yes, kindness. I think the world, yes, it's getting smaller, and then sometimes there's so much hate we can find on social media.
Oh yes,
Yes.
yes.
So choose kindness, because we can choose to be kind, and that way the next generation can see that I can choose kindness. I cannot choose. I can not be angry all the time. So
the wrinkles.
Yeah, the wrinkles.
Your message to the men.
Yeah, and to the men, treat your ladies right. Yeah, and then the ladies, treat your men to dinner.
Belle, Joan, thank you very much for this chance to speak with you.
Thank you.
Happy Women's Month.
Yeah,
It's an honor. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you have it, our guests in today's edition of Power Women. We have Joan Maris Rosos. She's the project manager and general manager of Promet Source. And we also have with us Maribel Torres Cuales. She is the founder and CEO of her own company, Hot Royal. And we wish, again, both of you the very best of luck. And to you all watching us right now, please stay tuned to our other episodes of Power Women as we continue to pay tribute to women who are not afraid to make a difference. I am Jobert Ocao, online editor of the Freeman. Thanks for joining us today. See you again next time here on the Freeman Conversations.